Hi, I'm Curtis Parody, and welcome to Now, bringing you some of the most interesting news happening in the world right now. Jumping right into the very first topic of the day, looks like Toronto Mayor Rob Ford's life could be getting a little bit worse very soon, because it's not already bad. Now, to bring you up to speed on what's really going on with his life, recently someone announced that they had a video of him smoking crack cocaine and were willing to sell it. The video was supposedly verified by a Toronto newspaper and Gawker Online. Ford himself being a smart politician, though he did smoke crack, so not very smart, but let's not really get into that anyway. Being that guy you know that he is, and probably having the support of course, like a media team behind him, he told the press that nope, it was not him smoking crack in that video. Because ever since the story broke, Gawker actually threw together a campaign to raise the money necessary to actually buy the video. So after over 8,000 people donated money to this campaign online, today it broke its goal and raised over $200,000, enough according to Gawker to buy the tape. So here's where things get like really interesting. So they have the money now and are willing to exchange it for like the tape or video, however you want to like say it. But they can't actually seem to contact the guy who has the video. The man has quote unquote disappeared, but he isn't missing. Well, okay, like no one really knows that for sure, but you know, like he isn't replying to any form of contact. This obviously brings the question up of like, what could have happened to him? Is he just not responding to like contact, or you know, has he been told to shut up? Because let's face it, if like the mayor of a large city like Toronto wanted you to shut up, though it's not ethical or maybe even legal, you're probably gonna shut up. So maybe the man was paid off by Ford in an attempt to like make it just go away. But it kind of just raises like more questions. Gawker has already stated that if they can't actually find the person who has the video, then they will take 100% of the money that they've raised and give it to a Canadian nonprofit that works with substance abuse. A great way for Gawker to spin the fact that they just got a ton of people to like raise money on their behalf. But hey, at least they're gonna do something good with it, because crack is one hell of a drug and you don't even want to don't go near that. Now, touching on the topic that I've talked about a lot in the past, looks like an Australian police force has actually obtained the plans for that like 3D printed gun that I talked a lot about, and they did something very interesting with it. They put on a show! Well, actually more of like a press event to like show what this device could really do. The police force spent about $35 on the materials needed for the gun and used a like $1,500 3D printer to actually like print it out. They then took it to their firing range and set it off. To their surprise, well, it did fire a bullet, but it also kind of exploded. Now, the police force did use a like cheaper material to build this and like a cheaper sort of printer to build it all together, but mainly they just wanted to show that the gun, yes, it could actually fire a bullet and kill someone, but also at the same time, it's just dangerous to use itself. The police force also talked about the possibility that in the future, regulations may surround devices like this, like the 3D gun. So like owning it would be completely illegal. But they also realized that for the first time in history, a physical weapon can be transferred via the internet. Basically meaning that currently there's lots of files flying around on the internet, and this is now just one of those other files. And if you really think about it, like a good comparison is the music industry. Like they couldn't stop music from being distributed online. So how can the government stop this like file of a 3D gun being shimmed all over the place on the internet? So the main thing that you really want to get out of this demonstration is the fact that, hey, if you're gonna print out one of these 3D guns, don't cheap out. Because if you cheap out on supplies in a printer, well, yes, the gun will fire, but then your face might also be on fire. From guns to games now, EA released the very first DLC or downloadable content for SimCity today, and hey, it looks pretty good. The new amusement park DLC came out today, which allows you to build your own theme park right inside of your SimCity. The premise of all of this is you can place an entrance first, then using a connecting walkway, you can place other rides along it, like classic rides, thrill rides, and even vendors. It's kind of like Roller Coaster Tycoon meets SimCity. So it all looks great, and there is some sort of strategy behind this when you place it in your city. But one thing kind of sticks out to me when you're watching this video. Look at how much space that thing's taken up. Let's face it, EA, if you're listening, please listen, bookmark this, take this with you to your next like board meeting or whatever. City sizes are too damn small in your game. If you want to do anything with this like new cool content, well, that's awesome, but you gotta give us the room to like be able to do stuff. Because right now, this is and will continue to be the worst part of your game. I'm not even really talking about the DLC here anymore, like I'm just talking about SimCity as a whole. Like the game is great and I love it and I like placing all my buildings and everything like that and it's awesome, but then when I run out of space in like my area, well then I get bored and I just stop playing. So this theme park thing, while it looks great, it just kind of like speeds up the process, which is great. Like I can create my own theme park, which is like really cool. I'll call it Curtis World, and everyone will be allowed to come in for free, and there's rides aplenty, at least of course until I run out of space. And then like I stop playing, and then the region becomes really boring. Actually, you know what? I'll just install Roller Coaster Tycoon and build an awesome theme park there. I shall call it Curtis World 2, and there will be way more space. So yeah, away from my rant there. Anyway, if you're interested in this DLC, you can of course purchase it for yourself on Origin. It is available for $9.99 as of today. Also, on a little side note here, I did recently get to test out SimCity on my MacBook Pro, and it worked really well. So if you're interested in that, SimCity for the Mac will be available on June 11th. Jumping along here to some tech news, looks like Samsung could have something mini up its sleeve in the future. If you're someone like myself and you're not really interested in the giant screen size of the Galaxy S4, then the possibility of a Galaxy S4 mini could be just for you. According to a number of rumors online, it looks like Samsung may be preparing to unveil a mini version of its popular smartphone next month in London. Samsung is hosting a big event on June 20th where they'll be unveiling a number of new devices. The Galaxy S4 mini could have a 3.4-inch screen, a 1.6 gigahertz processor, and an 8-megapixel camera. So not too shabby for a smartphone these days, considering the fact that like everything I do on my smartphone is like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And the only thing you really need for that is like, yes, the screen size is nice, but I don't want it too big. But Instagram requires a good camera, so it better have a good camera. Currently though, there are no rumors as to like a price for this phone, and I don't even really know what to compare it to like guess a price. So it's kind of like whatever. But hey, just so you know, it might be coming out next month. If you're thinking about getting a new phone, hey, that's probably a good thing to look at. And last, I kind of wanted to just throw this in here, talking more about the Xbox One. When I talked about it last week, many people were really upset with the direction that like Microsoft is going with this new product. And this is to be expected because really like it's always listening to you and it's like watching everything you do. That's kind of creepy. But today Microsoft announced that it is possible to turn off the Kinect. This is great, though they haven't really said if you can turn the Kinect off and like leave the machine on. Like I mean like Xbox on, Kinect off. My gut kind of tells me that they both need to be on at the very same time. But if you're not using it, you can turn it off. And I don't mean like a sleep mode, I mean like off. You could also just unplug it. Also, many of you guys just said that you'll like cover it with a cloth or you'll just turn it, which again, you know, it might be possible. But I'm starting to think, like, what if the Xbox doesn't see anyone in front of it? Like, if it doesn't see a person, would it, like, pause the game or the movie that you're trying to play? Like, that would be really annoying. In the end, I guess we'll just have to wait and see when this thing actually drops and lands in the world. Until then, it's all just kind of speculation. So jumping back to the topic of DLC in SimCity, do you think it's a great step for the game, or do you think other things need to be fixed first? Let me know in the comment section down below, or of course, you can always let me know on my Facebook page, through Twitter, or on Google+. Links to all that and the other articles I talked about in today's episode in the description down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's episode, hit up that like button and subscribe for more great free Now content every single day of the week. So until tomorrow, I'm Curtis Parody, and that's what's happening now. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. You can of course check out more videos that I create by clicking on them below. Check out Now for the latest news happening in the world right now, Paradise Gaming for some fun gameplay videos, or of course my personal vlog channel to see what I'm doing outside of my studio. Also, if you're interested in supporting the show and getting some new clothes for yourself, just like this shirt, you can pick up this one if you want. Check out the store at thecurtisparodystore.ca. Bye everyone.